People in my village still use my story as a warning. Not because I was a sinner, but because everyone judged me before they knew the truth. I grew up in a small farming village where reputation was everything. My mother raised me alone after my father died, and she made sure everyone knew I was respectful, hardworking, and deeply involved in church. By the time I turned 19, people often praised me as an example for other girls. Then one morning, everything changed. I fainted while helping my mother weed our cassava farm. When I woke up at the health center, the nurse smiled. "Congratulations." I stared at her. "For what?" "You're pregnant." I laughed because I thought she was joking. She wasn't. My mother slapped me before we even left the clinic. "Who is responsible?" "I don't know." "You expect me to believe that?" "I've never been with a man." By evening, everyone in the village had heard the news. Women who used to greet me crossed the road to avoid me. Young girls were warned not to spend time with me. The church suspended me from the youth choir. No one asked for my side of the story. They had already made up their minds. Even the young man people assumed was the father Denny, knowing me beyond exchanging greetings after church. He was telling the truth. Months passed. Doctors confirmed the pregnancy was progressing normally. Every visit ended with the same uncomfortable questions. Are you hiding something? Were you assaulted? Did you lose consciousness at any point? The answer was always no. As my stomach grew, so did the shame my family carried. My mother stopped attending community meetings because people whispered whenever she arrived. One afternoon, my grandmother visited quietly. Instead of accusing me, she asked one question. Have you ever gone to a fertility clinic? No. Have you ever donated blood for medical research? No. She looked puzzled but said nothing more. 9 months later, I delivered a healthy baby boy. The celebration I had dreamed about never came. Instead, people stood outside the hospital discussing how convincing liars had become. My mother barely held her grandson. To everyone else, he represented disgrace. Years passed. I raised him alone. Then, when he was almost 4 years old, a news report changed everything. Police had arrested a retired doctor who had secretly used his own sperm to impregnate dozens of women during fertility treatments over many years. The story dominated television for weeks. Although I had never attended such a clinic, it encouraged medical authorities to reopen several unsolved maternity cases involving disputed pregnancies and birth records. My doctor contacted me. There may have been a mistake during your treatment. What treatment? The injections you received when you collapsed. I reminded him that I had only been treated for dehydration. His face changed. He searched through old hospital records. Someone had switched patient files on the day I was admitted. A woman scheduled for an artificial insemination had the same surname as mine. Our folders had been placed side by side. An exhausted staff member had mistakenly prepared my file instead of hers. While I was sedated after collapsing, a fertility procedure intended for another patient had been carried out before the error was discovered. No one reported the mistake. The hospital quietly altered the records. The woman who was supposed to receive the procedure later complained that it had failed. She never knew why. I spent 4 years being called a liar because one employee refused to admit a devastating mistake. The hospital eventually admitted liability. Several workers lost their jobs. Compensation was offered, but it couldn't restore the years my family had lost. The village apologized. Some people even asked for forgiveness. I accepted their words. But I never forgot how quickly everyone believed the worst about me without a single piece of evidence. Even today, whenever someone says, "There's no smoke without fire," I smile sadly. Because I know that sometimes there is plenty of smoke. And the fire was started by someone nobody thought to question. If you enjoy stories like this, please like and subscribe.